Hey, what is up guys, it's Lewpac here, back with another Albion Online video, and today, as the title suggests, I'm going to tell you how I make up to 1 million silver per day on one character just using my crafting focus. Now, a couple of notes before we get into the actual methods. Firstly, this is my main, who has very high specializations in metal refining, and number two, this is Albion Online. It's a player-driven economy. What makes money one day might not make money the next day, so you do have to bear that in mind. However, these methods are not exclusive to ore mining and not exclusive to my character. So you can apply these methods to any of the resources using the calculator that I'm going to show you, and you'll be making, you might not always be making 1 million, but you'll always be making some profit if you follow the rules. That said, my personal best in a single day, I actually made one day on 7.2 bars. I made 4.4 million silver on a day and a half of focus. So 1,500 focus points got me 4.4 million silver, which is more than a month's premium right now in Albion Online. So the first thing you're going to have to do to become proficient at this is get yourself acquainted with the amazing website albiononline2d.com. Now, if you don't know this website, it has a bunch of useful information. It pulls loads of info from the game. It's an absolutely phenomenal resource, so hats off to the guy who makes it. Check it out and have a play around with the site because there's a load of cool stuff in there. But for today, we're going to be looking at the refining calculator. Now, I'll put a link to this website in the comments, but you should be able to find it easily enough. So the first thing we're going to do is choose your resource on the refining calculator. Then you're going to input your specializations or your mastery in each resource. You can find these in a line of the relative resource in the refining tree, and you're going to pop them in one by one just to fill in the data. Next up, we're going to work out what our tax cost is going to be for resources. So basically, look around the shops, find the cheapest shop you can use, and that is your tax rate that you're going to input into the form. So for example, if I was going to refine blocks here, I could put in that I'm getting a tax rate of 21%. If I happen to be an associate, I would get 2%. Associates basically just mean that the owner of the shop has added you or your guild to a list of associates, and you get a preferential rate. Big guilds with a lot of spending and a lot of buying power generally can negotiate associate rates with various shopkeepers. I know that Sun has associate rates with 3 different big landowners in Carlion, which is very nice for maximizing profit. But worst case scenario, you can actually lower your resource return rate, but eliminate the cost if it gets really bad by using a personal island. However, here we're trying to maximize focus output, so we do want to use the shops in Carlion. So once we've inputted all the data about our own refining specialities and the taxes we're going to pay, next thing we do is pull the current market prices, and this is where the website gets really clever. What it will do, it will take the current price of all the resources, raw and refined, from the market. It will then run them in a calculation against your specializations and give you a returned value or focus cost for what you're doing. Now, the value that we're really paying close attention is the profit per focus, because the profit per item is impressive, but we want to know what we're making per focus point. So in the example here, you'll notice that the best one for me across all of the ores happens to be 6-1 enchanted ore, or enchanted bars rather. So those are what we're going to go for. The next stop is to hit the market. Now, you might have a stockpile of this. If you have a stockpile of resources, brilliant. Then use the focus calculator to make sure you're maximizing the profit. But in my case, I just buy the stuff every day based on the market demands. So first things first, we're going to buy up a bunch of 6-1 ore. Careful that you don't drive the prices up too much, because then obviously you're losing out on your profit as you do this. We're also going to need a bunch of 5.1 bars as those are a component in 6.1 bars. So we'll buy up a bunch of those. I recommend taking a nice big mount when you're doing this every day, because there's a lot of heavy stuff to transport. I'm transporting, nearly 1,300 ore plus 400 bars. So then we take our mammoth and we head on over to our refining station. Obviously, as we said before, we want to refine with focus, so just make sure the focus button is toggled on and off you go with the refining. Then, as soon as you're done, you can head back to town, list it at a reasonable price, and you can see here that already off the back of not spending too much, I believe I spent about 1.4 million today, which wasn't too much invested. Most people should have that available. And as you can see, we're looking at the market around 2.7 million in return for our bars. Plus we actually have a little bit left over of some of the raw resources. So there's a little bit of money tied up in there, but that's a 1.3 million profit, which is above average. I would say my average daily return is anything from 700k to 1 million. Like I said, my best days have been 4.4 million. My worst days have been sort of maybe 3 to 400k. So it does vary based on the market. A few little tips with this as well is some days when I go to check the calculator, ore is just in a horrible situation. It's oversaturated. There's no money in it. And honestly, those days, I just completely switch to a different resource. Even though I don't have as high specializations in other resources, I can still make a decent daily profit. The core thing to remember is you're using your focus. If you have premium, anytime you let your focus get to 30,000 and just sit, you're not going to die, you're not going to lose your character, but you're just missing out on free money. Focus is free money once you know how to use it. You guys who are like completely into your farming and stuff and looking to push that up and you're watering crops, that's absolutely fine too. You're using your focus. I'm happy with that. Crafting things with focus, like actual items and stuff, is generally okay, but I think at the moment with free to play just launched, crafting is like one of the weakest uses of focus, except for super high-end items. But I think I'm not really the best person to tell you about that, because it's not my specialization now. I do plan to get heavily into crafting at some point, so I can bring you guys more info on it. But this is what I do every single day, or it doesn't have to be every single day. As long as you do it once every 3 days, you haven't maxed your focus. And that's the beauty of Albion. Things like Adventurer's Challenge, things like focus refining, they don't force you to log on every single day. There's nothing worse for me in a game when I feel like I'm like, oh man, I missed logging on that day. Now everything's gone wrong. I've missed all my bonuses and all my profit and stuff like that. I really do like that Albion allows you to log in every few days and still get all the content. I always hate that feeling when I miss a couple of days in a game that wants me to log in daily. Then I almost think, well, it's not worth me logging in anymore. And I think that's a bad business model overall. Anyway, guys, I hope this video has helped you understand focus refining a bit more and given you a little money-making tip. Please don't all flood the ore market and destroy my business, though, because I do like making a little bit of money for myself. And again, remember, it's not always the enchanted stuff that makes the money. Sometimes the best money is on flat items. Flat 7 bars were really good for a few days for me. So make sure you're using the focus calculator. You're looking at the maximum profit per focus, not profit per item. That's very, very important. You want to make sure that you're getting the best value for your focus. Make sure you don't overbuy the raw resources. You don't want to end up with more than you can focus refine and then have a load of money tied up in that. And also never ever quick sell your items for profit. Always use sell orders. Even if you're the lowest sell order, you'll make money, because the focus calculator bases it on sale cost, not buy orders. So to make profit, you need to be using sell orders. And again, the less desperate you are for the money, the higher you can place your sell order and wait a little bit for the money to come back in. And once you build up a really good bankroll, you'll be able to just like sit on huge stockpiles of valuable resources, wait for them to sell at a really good price, and just make a ton of money. Anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you love my Albion Online content and you'd love to continue to see more of it, please consider becoming a backer on Patreon. And of course, you can always check out my live stream on Twitch TV. Links are below. Monday to Friday, loads of Albion content. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.